Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, just had something on my mind, so I came in to do a little Pantha chat. Thank you for being here. Thank you for viewing this, and I appreciate your attention to this channel. It's all loving and kind, and we appreciate you so much. Well, I don't know. There's a whole buzz about all of the stuff going on celestially and the reflection of that in humanity. And there's a school of thought that is convinced that we're in some big spiritual war. We're in warfare. Okay, I'm gonna be the first to admit that I understand all of that. I totally understand that from a very one-on-one situation. But when it first started happening to me, I just thought it was like grown-ups acting like kids and trying to be, whatever, trying to be that thing. That gang up mentality, like let's go, the bully, I thought it was just bullying, and it was, and it is. That's what it is. But yeah, I am seeing the connection of the thing that's happening with humanity, because I thought it was just me, and then I started looking at all this other stuff. I started coming on YouTube, and I started getting reflections from other people, and I'm like, okay, my hair's falling over. Okay, this isn't just me. And I've always been like, when other people are like, well, you're not the only one that's feeling that way, so that should make you feel better. I was always the one that would be like, no, it doesn't make me feel better to know that other people are feeling like I'm feeling okay. But it actually made me feel a little better this time to realize that this thing wasn't just about me, and that there is some big movement against the light. There's this big, weird aggression. It's like when you go in and clean out black mold. I don't know if you've ever done that, but you go out and clean out black mold and you miss a spot. It's like that one spot tries to be overly aggressive because it's all it's got. It's got to proliferate. It's coming from that little thing, so it's like big and trying to be giant. And that's kind of what's happening here. It's like, the light is just, you can no longer operate on that dual kind of agenda, okay, as a human being. You can't smile at everybody on the outside and then have that weird stuff on the inside and not have it be displayed somewhere. You are on blast. The dark is on blast. The light is so big right now that, yeah, you can't get away with it anymore. You can't get away with that dual energy, running that other energy, doing this out here and then doing something different in there. It's full exposure at this point. The veil isn't like being lifted. The motherfucker gone. Okay. Yeah. So. But the way that I can tell you, I just brought a big thing in here for my cat. She's all jazzed, so that's what that is over there. I feel like the way that I've been successful at combating, first of all, just being ganged up on and having people come at you and you're not quite sure why. You don't, like back in the day, I had no idea that it was about my frequency. It was about my light trying to come out, and the thing that I had to do was get really, really honest and be authentic. I had to get in there, and I did not like myself for a while. I remember thinking, I really don't like who I am. I really am embarrassed to be who I am. And you know, I ain't no major criminal or anything like that, but again, I was running dual energies. I was trying to be this over here, but I was also this over here. And yes, of course, we all have the light and the dark in us, but at this point, it cannot be so polar that it opposes itself in momentum, in frequency. Okay, you can't be so much in contrast that it causes vibration, you know, that it causes interference with your forward momentum, your positive aggression into the universe. So yeah, and the way I did it was I just got really honest with myself. I went through that period. They call it the dark night of the soul. I've been through a whole bunch of those, so don't think it's just going to be one, because it's going to be more than one if you're really being honest and really trying to do the work. But yeah, that was one of many. But then I had to change my behavior. Then I had to change something about that, because I couldn't live in that thing. You know, I couldn't live in that energy of not liking myself and not being proud of who I was. I mean, I was so far away from that. When you're in that energy, and you got to be real with yourself when you're feeling like that, because most people won't admit that either. They won't admit that they're embarrassed to be who they are. So you got to travel that little journey to get to there, that little dark night to get to there. And then when you're completely honest and you're seeing that shit and you don't like it and you got to deal, yeah, you got to address it or you go down in flames. That's a lot of work, man. But when you haven't gotten to that point, it's vulture land. They're in there. They're in there. They've been in there. These opposing forces to the light have been in there, and I've been in denial because I don't play like that. I ain't playing it. You know, that's kind of my attitude. But I am acknowledging on this really pivotal, you know, celestial momentous occasion, this whole thing that's stacked up for us right now. I'm definitely here to acknowledge that there's a lot of vibratory momentum of contrary energies to an evolved planet. You know, there's definitely a press. Definitely something that's trying to, excuse me, that's Lucy, she's all jazzed up. There's definitely a press on us, let's just put it like that. Somebody's trying to put that cap on our flames. And then I think, you know, actually when you do come and you start evolving in your journey, in your story, and you're having this, you finally figured out that you got to have a relationship with yourself, oh no, and you develop that, you get really strong. It's funny, it's like you'd think that other force, that opposing force would back away, but actually they try and advance even further. But the key, though, is when you make the determination that you're valuable and that you've gotten honest with yourself and you've cleaned up your little act and there's nothing in your shadows and you're not ashamed of anything that you're presenting to the world right now, and you acknowledge your past, but you've let it go and you're not dragging it around with you and you're not feeling like a victim. When you've gotten to that point, no matter what they got to deliver to you, it ain't coming. It's the ching, 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 ching. They can't get to you. So, you know, it's some work. It's some work. But this is a high-stakes situation now. This is not back in the time when everybody just sat at the table and read the damn cereal box and that was the day. You know, this is... Humans have gotten into a very high-stakes part of the earthly evolution. And you got to step the game up. You got to step up your game. You got to know who you are. And the only way to stay feeling protected is to feel protected. You have to make a decision. You have to understand. You have to decide that you're a warrior or you're a warrioress, and you're armed and you're supported and you're good, you know that they may die from your kindness, you know, but that's all right. You know, it's all, and you know, you gotta be invested in yourself. Be invested in yourself enough not to be afraid. Be invested in your own journey enough to know that you have a purpose, and you know, you got a job. It's like, I appreciate that you don't like something I'm doing, you know, smiling, or you know, having a sense of humor, or being like openly grateful. I'm real sorry about that, y'all, but I can't help you with that. You know, that's not my issue. So sorry. You know, and you just get like that. You get playful with this thing that's going on, that everybody wants to put up protection spells and do all this stuff. And my witches, I love you. I appreciate all that. I definitely appreciate it. I get it. But you ain't got to do all that. All you got to do is believe in who you are. I mean, you know, the funniest thing is, like, I get demonstrative magic. I get it. I get all this silly spell casting and all this, and I'm not talking about you good witches. I'm talking about all this other nonsense that's, you know, that they're trying to do, you know, and they're trying to do stuff, and they're trying to tap into your soul and your mind and suck your life and take your light and change your agenda in your life. No, man. When you figure out who you are, you can actually have a funny thing in your awareness about how damn funny it all is. About how funny it is for somebody to be trying to like throw spells at somebody like you. You what? You're trying to get a third eye? What? That's just funny to me. And I'm not saying that they don't have, like, exertions can't reach you in your waning moments, you know, when you're feeling a little weak or vulnerable or whatever. But honestly, when you get to that point, no matter what you're feeling like, even if you're shedding tears, you know, I'm at the point where it's like, I'm still that same person. I'm still that person that'll look up from my tears streaming down my damn face, go and call somebody on trying to throw a spell at me, because it's just silly. Because it's not coming here. It's coming back to you. Like, I heard this. This is so funny too, y'all. I heard this on a video today. It's like, so what is it when you're a kid? Something at me, and whatever, it sticks onto you. Or that one, you know. It's that same premise, but it's true. It's like, I don't even pretend to like do. I light candles because I like the lighting. You know, I save eggshells because I crush them up and give them to the birds. I'm not doing any, like, I'm not making concoctions. You know why? Because I don't have to. I ain't got to do that stuff. I'm past demonstrative magic. So I want you to get there too. I want you to understand that you possess all the power. You will power. You have all the power. You don't need a talisman. They're pretty. I got a few, you know, and I like them, and they're vibratorily essential in some of the stuff that I like to concentrate on. But I don't have to do any of that. And my funniest line in my magic is, I don't have to, I let you. And there's a trailing line in an Amy Winehouse song, and it's a voiceover on there, and it's way in the background at the end of the song, and it's like, you must have lost your mind coming at her, you know, coming at her. You must have lost your mind coming at her. And I hear that all the time, because it's like, I mean, and I'm well aware. I know some of the physical creatures that are doing what they're doing for the big dark entity. I don't make a big deal out of it because it's become like, part of my scenario. I get it. So I don't give it a party every time I sense somebody here. Every time they do something that's on their program that I'm well aware of, because this has been happening for, almost 15 years. It's like, y'all, why? Don't you have something better to do? And play the game you want to play. Play the game that you want to play. If you want to constantly combat what you think is trying to get you, go ahead and play that game. Because that's the game you're playing. That's the game you're engaging in. That's what you're looking at. I look over a side eye once in a while, give him a little eyelash, I ain't looking at this. I ain't looking at it. I ain't got time for that. There's too much love to be distributed on this planet. I do not have time to engage in that. I'm not going to marry into the negativity, into the tragedy, into the fear. Okay? And when you start to feel like that, that's when you're really tapping into your true strength. Love yourself enough to be invested in your journey. And then once you start that journey with yourself, no matter what kind of spiritual warfare is going on or not going on, no matter what kind of gang stalking is going on or not going on, no matter what, you got it. You got your game. That is your game. They can't touch you. You're untouchable. The minute you step into your own power, and the minute you remember who you are, and you remember that where your focus goes is what your reality knows. And when you remember that it's all about how you choose to be, how you choose to perceive, and how you choose to see, then you can orchestrate your own damn game. You're not being dragged around by anybody. You know what? You end up being inadvertently the puppet master. Because every time you move, they move. Every time you move, they move. Every time you move, they move. Dance, bitches. Go ahead, dance. Dance for me on your way out. I know, I got in trouble a lot when I was little for being a smart ass, so I do acknowledge that part. Anyway, I just wanted to come in and a lot's being on broadcast right now about the little evil menaces, the few that are left here, that are out there trying to stir up some shit, and they're so low that all they can do is hit you in the shins, and that shit can hurt you. So armor up with your own love, armor up with your own kindness, armor up by recognizing your own divinity, by understanding that if you're here, there's a purpose, because this is an unbelievably special time to be a human being on this planet, and you ain't got time for that. And no matter what, anything happens, what they do, or what you hear about what should be happening, what you should be focused on, because the dark is coming to get the light, and the light is going, hey, yeah, you know what? It's like the sunrise and the sunset. We know it's happening. Why you gotta look at it all the time? I don't stare into the sun. I know the sun's coming up. I don't have to stand at the window and stare at it. It's nice to do it once in a while, but you ain't got to do that. You don't have to put that attention on it, because it does itself. If you don't put your attention on this sparring, warring, conflict stuff that's happening or not happening, you ain't got to do it. You ain't got to watch it. You ain't got to be a part of it. You can side glance at it, give it a little wave once in a while and acknowledge that its beastie presence is here. But otherwise, it's just one of those things, one of those natural phenomenons like the sunrise and the sunset. It can be a beautiful thing if you look at it like I do, because I have come to get a kick out of aggressors trying to come at empresses, aggressors trying to come at earth angels. It's become silly. It's not, the only time it's dangerous is when you walk into fear. When you walk into fear, then all kinds of stuff is possible. But when you realize who you are and what you're doing here, and that you have a huge game, you got a lot of business, and you don't have a lot of time to be focused on their nonsense, then you're on your way. Okay? You got the full protection. You're fully armored. Source has got us. Source has got us. So proceed and have a little laugh. Focus on your dreams. I'll see you later.